Oh, hello, and welcome to another Today's Decay. Celebrating births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time, May 31st edition. And today, Christine Campbell Thompson was born in 1897. I'm a big fan. You probably don't know who I'm talking about, but if you were to ask 2 or 3 people out there, I'm sure I've got a cheering section of 1, 2, or 3 people. I don't mean Swamp Thing, but you never know. Maybe he's well read, although I think he's more green. Christine Campbell Thompson was the editor in England who put out a whole bunch of the Not at Night series. This is number 1, just Not at Night, simply. 15 stories of mystery, weird, and supernatural that will make you afraid. Yeah. And these are all like weird tales based or derivative of, adjacent to, I guess you could say. You've got Lovecraft in his first hardcover edition. Weird Tales was like budget pulp stuff that like did not equal reputable writers. Hardcover, more reputable. You could throw it at somebody and hurt them, you know? It's a weapon. He was weaponized. But that's just one of them here. You got, well, a lot of names we're not all that familiar with, although you do have August Derlath, Frank Belknap Long, a whole bunch of others. There's barely anybody out there that's like really the cheering section for this Not at Night series, but one of the things that really appeals to me is this artwork. Maybe not this one. Just wait. Just wait. It gets better. This is like 1926 or so. This winds up becoming very popular, also 1926, 27 or so. More Not at Night, just in case you couldn't get enough. I mean, this was like a runaway hit. I think a lot of people point to Dashiell Hammett's Creeps at Night horror anthology as like what really set off like this 1930s horror boom, but I don't think that's the case. Yeah, this predates it by a good couple of years. I think Dashiell Hammett's is like 30, 31, 32, and this, like I said, it's 26. The editor desires to record her acknowledgments to Weird Tales, by whose kind permission these stories are reprinted. So, you know, she's doing her due diligence here. But just wait, these dust jackets just get better and better. This is like 1928. You'll need a nightlight. And here's the hype on the back. Not at Night series, selected and arranged by Christine Campbell Thompson. At this point, we're already talking about 5. This is probably like a preprint, but still like late 20s, early 30s. Some reviews: Yellow Specters, Dead Souls, Monsters of the Deep, Vampiric Ape Men, Human Sacrifice, Swamp Horrors, Black Boxes, I don't know why that's scary, Sea Monsters, Cobras are some of the highly spiced dishes in a banquet of horrors. The feast is in the best tradition of Edgar Allan Poe and Bram Stoker at their grimmest and wildest. For those who like strong meat, and the stronger the better, let me recommend Not at Night. Stories of adventure and peril, thoroughgoing pieces of sensationalism. Even the most phlegmatic reader, on reaching the end of this book, will be bound to admit that, like Macbeth, he is supped full with horrors. I don't know if like does Shakespeare sell horror content? I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going because she kept going. Again, one of my favorites. Original dust jacket this time. Gruesome Cargoes. Not to be read at night. Beautiful stuff, right? Yeah. Again, more ballyhoo in the back. Keeps going, keeps going. This is like early 30s by this point, I want to say. By daylight only. It's just such good artwork. By daylight only, selected and arranged by Christine Campbell Thompson. The Not at Night books need no introduction. This is an introduction, though. And a new volume in this famous series is always assured a wide welcome. By daylight only, the 5th and latest volume not only keeps up the high standards of the preceding volumes, but is greatly increased in quantity. And for this reason, is likely to reach even greater sales than any other volume in the series. It is needless to say that in continuance of the publisher's policy, By Daylight Only is published in the first instance at the popular price of 2 2s net. 2 pence? That can't be right. I don't know. Whatever. That wasn't as sensational, as exciting as I was hoping it was going to be. But the actual contents of the book happened to be. Again, another one. Switch on the light. Curse of Yig is in here, another Lovecraft-related thing. The Rats in the Walls, another Lovecraft thing. Haunted Hands, The Red Fetish, The Thought Monster. You know, it's weird tales, but you couldn't get weird tales outside of America, I think, or at least not easily. So Britain did this. Yeah, it just keeps going. Here's at Dead of Night, not related to the 1940s anthology film, which is a classic, or the 1981 BBC anthology, which I'm watching right now, and I gotta say, that first episode with like the dead baby, pretty good. Did I just ruin something for you? You know, I don't do that very often, but here I am today. Dead baby, Dead of Night. Watch the episode. Or Goosebumps. Look at Goosebumps. Yeah, anyway. A grim, creepy volume of horror and mystery of the supernatural. Once again, edited by Christine Campbell Thompson. We're like in the early 30s at this point, I believe, which is right around the time Charles Birkin kind of rides on her coattails a bit and starts the Creep series. But she got a good 5-year head start on them. And here we are at Grim Death. Probably my favorite artwork of the series. It's got some Robert E. Howard content in here, I believe, as well. We're not going to open it. Delicate, but yeah, Grim Death. Cannot go wrong. We all need a little Grim Death, don't we? Okay. Like a pit of pissed off pythons, the hiss just keeps on coming. Keep on the light. Here's another good one. Excellent dust jacket. Once again, where do they get this stuff from? Do not know. Do not know. Number 9 of the famous Not of Night series. Famous, I tell you. I hear me say to you as I continue to tell you. How did this get in here? This doesn't belong in here. Here's Terrors. This is one of those Charles Perkins Creep series ones I was telling you about. Ignore Terrors for now. That'll be another day. Terror by Night, number 10 in the famous Not at Night series. Original dust jacket once again. TikTok. Excellent stuff. If you can make that out. Ridiculous that I'm doing this and trying to like balance glare, right? Nightmare by Daylight, which kind of goes into exactly what I was saying. If I was doing this at night, maybe you would see this better. But again, excellent artwork. Where do they get this stuff? Where do they cook this stuff up from? I do not know. And then if you're missing out on some, here is the omnibus. All aboard. Next up, Terror. The feast is in the best traditions of Edgar Allan Poe and Bram Stoker at their grimmest and wildest. So they were using that ballyhoo quote for like 15, 20 years, like as if nobody else ever reviewed her content, huh? Yeah. Since the famous Not at Night books were started 12 years ago, they've enjoyed a deservedly wide popularity for sheer thrills. They are in a class by themselves, for it has been the editor's aim, as each new volume has appeared, to maintain the high standard of the macabre story, which the public has come to expect from the series. Below is the full volume. Yeah. Yada, yada. Anyway, you get it. Yeah. And then that was it for her for a long time, because that's like 38. That's like 38 or so. And then just when you think things are over, somehow the 1960s, well, here's what I think happened. I think that Charles Birkin with the Creep series, which is excellent too. Continues on where she leaves off through the rest of the 30s and into the 40s. And then whether it's Alfred Hitchcock horror anthologies, or I guess eventually you've got those Herbert Thal Pan horror anthologies, people just couldn't get enough of like short horror stories. I feel like it's probably Alfred Hitchcock content, perhaps Twilight Zone, but anyway, they were out there looking for like delving the history of like what can we like reissue. And then in the 60s, what do you have? It gets a second life, it gets dug out of the grave and lives again. Why none other than Not at Night in the 1960s in paperback form. Tales that freeze the blood. Weird, ghoulish, spine-chilling, horrific. Watch out, from the publishers of Bram Stoker's Dracula, The Lair of the White Worm by Bram Stoker. I don't understand how that connects to this, but so be it. Still Not at Night. Again, great artwork, 1960s content here. Keeps going, even more Not at Night. And last, but certainly not least, Only by Daylight. I think that's... Oddly, that's all we have for Christine Campbell Thompson. That's it. Just a mountain of books. And quite a legacy that you should definitely check out. There's only really one website. I think that, what is it called? It's not Vault of Horror. Something like that. If you Google Creeps and Not at Night, there's only like one or two like message boards a la like 2003 that really go through and like comb through all of this content. And it's worth it. It's worth it. Says me. 1920 today, the Wonder Wheel first started spinning down in Coney Island, USA, and has a like 100% safety rating some 100 plus years later. Who else of us can say such things? I cannot boast such wonderful awards for myself. No. 1975, the Heartbreakers first played today. That's Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers, not those other Heartbreakers. 2003, on this day, none other than Mike Mortician and Mike Decay started the Midnight Monster Hop at Otto Shrunken Head. I was trying to find the first flyer I had here somewhere, but yeah, it's somewhere. I feel like I can hear it. I can hear it crunching. We started this event there right when they basically first opened. I think Otto's had transitioned from pharmacy to Otto's like within 6 to 12 months beforehand, something like that. I think the Tiki Boys was doing something there already, but we were their first real like meshing DJs with bands on like a regular monthly event type standpoint. And we did that because me and Kendra booked Mad Sin at CBGB's the night before and knew that anybody that was coming town, because most of New York City did not have a psychobilly scene. So if anybody was going to come to town for Mad Sin, hey, maybe they'll stick around the next day for this after party thing. And so we had the first Midnight Monster Hop. And I was already well enmeshed and obsessed with spook shows and horror theatrics. So me and Janine Ojahowski built a full-size mummy in my kitchen that I lived in at the time, out of chicken wire and 2x4s and paper mache, and like the advertisement on the flyer said, and it was like wrapped in like leathery skin, and then like wrapped in like gauze on top of that and everything. And like the advertisements on the flyer said that you will be able to rifle through the bandages of this unearthed ancient Egyptian mummy and try to find his valuables, ancient treasures. And we, the Midnight Monster Hoppers, waive all legal responsibility as to where, when, or how the mummy will awaken to retrieve its stolen property. Little did I think at the time that when you make something like this, you really need it to have like joints or like come apart in some form or another, because like just giant 2x4s doesn't fit in a taxi very well, and so this very funny idea wound up costing me a lot of money in like minivan cabs back and forth for some reason. But you know, I still very proud of myself. It was a good time. Who played? Monkey Butlers played. Did Gutter Demons play? Monkey Butlers for sure. I remember that. If not Gutter Demons, they were shortly thereafter. And then me and Mike Mortician continued the Midnight Monster Hop at Auto Shrunken Head every single month for many, many years. There were points where I left California and my records lived on through Sean or somebody else, and then I came back and then got stuck working as an adult for a little while, and it you know, it kept going. And when I paired it with what I was doing previously in Philly for Phantom Creep Theater, Phantom Creep Fridays, which is the first Friday of every month from January 26, 1999 to January 26, 2019, I realized I had done, when you combine the two different events, 20 years to the day of psychobilly, horror, rock and roll nonsense. And so that was like a good time to bow out as bookends for like regular every single month booking bands, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, May 31st, 2003 was a really important one because it started off a, like, whatever the math is, 15-ish year run of lots of events I'm very proud of. We had more bands than I can count. More bands than I can chew on, unlike some people. May 31st, all day from us to you.